Vault Unlock. And today we have special guest Herman, who helps people fix their credit, get the funding, and then take that funding and invest it into investments that create generational wealth. I'm so excited to have you here today, Herman. How are we doing?
I'm doing amazingly well. Thank you so much for having me on your platform and trusting me. It means a lot to me today. Thank you, Kay.
Thank you so much. So for the people that are listening and they don't know who Herman is, why don't we just start there and tell us a little bit of who Herman is? You know, how do you help people fix their credit? How do we even get here in the first place?
Quick synopsis. Well, let's make a long story short. Herman Dalsey Jr. I am founder of Bella Sloan Enterprises, named the company after my firstborn beautiful daughter, Bella Sloan. Born in Brooklyn, Philly raised me, went to Temple University, got my undergrad, went to Lincoln University, got my graduate school, and I got out of school making a whopping $55,000 a year and $86,000 in student loan debt. And I was like, I didn't make the right move. And then I went on a baby moon with my beautiful wife, right? Had an amazing trip. And then it took 2 weeks I went to Italy, took 2 weeks out of my time. It was an amazing trip. Came back home, and I was telling my brother, I was like, dang, I wish I could do this whenever I want. And he said, hey, unless you own your own, you'll never be free. So he's credit thing that you do, you should start charging people for it. I'm like, no, it's really important information. Everybody needs this information. He's like, no, bro, they're going to pay somebody. They might as well pay you.
Yeah.
I got 10 of my friends. I was like, let me fix your credit for free. Took the screenshots, posted them on Instagram, and the rest is history.
Wow. That just like that.
Just like that. Yeah. Of course, there's things to fill in the story. But
no, I get, we're going to go there because we're trying to figure out, you know, this is the whole idea of the Vault Unlock is figuring that one thing out, right? And it's either how did you do that or how we actually get the credit fixed.
Right.
So you started working with your friends, you helped them fix the credit, and then you started posting on Instagram. You're just posting the results.
Posting the results. Success has receipts.
Yeah. And then people were like, oh my God, I need you to help me.
I need you to help me. And
how many people have you helped so far today?
Wow. In the past 8 years, we have had 6,000 credit repair clients come through.
6,000. Wow. Yes. And how much funding do you think you've generated?
I've generated in the past 8 years, $100 million.
Wow. So you've and I want to be very clear when you say this, you've fixed over 6,000 people's credit.
Correct.
And you've gotten those same, let's say, you know, those same, not all those 6,000, but that same bucket of people up to $100 million of basically of dollars for them to be able to use.
Absolutely. To use, leverage, and create cash flowing assets. That's the goal.
So how do you do that? Like, how do you fix someone's credit so quickly?
So I definitely want to say we fix credit quickly. It definitely is a journey depending on certain people. Sometimes it's 3 months, sometimes it's 6 months, sometimes it's 8 months. But we take the client through their journey. So there's an educational component that they need to understand because they got into the problem because they weren't educated. So we educate them on it. We fix their credit using consumer law to fix their credit.
Yeah.
And after they're done, it's all about the LTV of the client. Now that their credit is fixed, what's next? What do you need? Well, I would like to get a car. I would like to start a business. Let me be of service to you. So we help the client point them in the right direction, make sure their business is structured properly, get capital for their business so that they can invest in themselves and their dreams.
And what are some stories like? Does anyone stick out for you where you actually walk them through this whole journey and it's just like?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I got one of my clients came in with like a 600 credit score. He had like 2 collections on his credit report. He had good other stuff. Like he had a couple of credit cards that were good stuff. We got the collections off. We helped him set up his business, LLC, EIN, all that stuff, got the business website, structured it properly. We got him his first $50,000 in funding. He ended up starting, and this was years ago, he ended up starting a trucking company. And he was one of the first people who quit their job because he replaced his income, and then he grew that to a $2.5 million a year company. So I'm really, really excited about that. The second amazing story is actually acquisition. So we got another guy. He actually went through the SBA. So we teach clients how the SBA helps, you know, with generational wealth, because there's a lot of boomers that are about to retire. So there's a lot of capital that is out there. So we helped him get $20,000 on a business credit card. He liquidated it, put that as a down payment, and then he acquired a company that's making $2.5 million a year. And all he had to do was come out of pocket 20,000. So these are amazing
Wow.
that we have in our portfolio of income and impact.
And I love that income impact. And isn't it interesting, right? Like, and you can all say it all started by just fixing your credit, right? But there's a lot that happens in between there. Let's take a step back and ask the big question. How do people find themselves in this situation where their credit isn't like, I feel like if you're relatively educated in the sense of you've gone to school, I mean, they teach you this a little bit. Your parents teach you a little bit about like, pay your credit cards off, right? And you don't want to do that. If you don't, you'll have bad credit. Like, how do people get to a point where they're in such bad credit and basically shut off from financial, abilities and capabilities and resources?
Well, okay, there's a myriad of reasons why. Believe it or not every parent is financially literate to pass down that information to their children. My father, right, he was financially literate up to a point. My dad knew how to make money and save money. He didn't know how to leverage credit and things like that, right? So I remember he used to come home every Friday. He's like, hey, let's pay the bills. And I was like 12, 13.
Yeah.
And we get paid every Friday, and he would have me write the check. So he's like, hey, here's the water bill. I want you to write the bill.
Oh, wow.
Here's a gas bill. Here's your tuition, right? And I would write it out, and he would show me how he would balance the checkbook, right? And he also did that because I wanted a Super Nintendo, and he wanted to show me like, hey, there's no more money in the account.
Yeah.
But teaching me about budgeting, right?
Yeah.
Leverage and credit and taxes and insurance, those things aren't taught in our financial institutions.
Yeah.
So as we grow up, we are ill-equipped when we get a $5,000 credit card, like, oh, I'll max it out, not knowing that hurts your credit score. As long as I make the minimum payment, I can afford it. Those we're not really taught about, and then it goes into a significant rabbit hole.
And then one thing after another, and then they're just sitting there paralyzed.
Paralyzed, yeah.
But you figured out a way to help them. I'm going to assume consolidate that all and then be able to start kind of paying it off down and working on their credit. Exactly. What are some of the things when someone's looking at their credit that just to educate, anyone listening, that people are looking at, like the lenders are looking at when it looks at your credit? Because I know there's like how much you owe, but there's also there's a couple different variables.
Right. I'm glad you said that because I always teach people think like the banks do. So your credit report is your adult report card. So they'll to see like, okay, well, you got an A here and a B here and a D here. So they look to see how much credit card debt that you're in. If you have like a $10,000 credit card, right? They don't like you to max out more than $3,000. So 30%.
Okay.
So over that 30%, your score takes a hit. So the less credit card debt you're in, the better your credit score is. Having credit that is old is important, right? So I got my first credit card when I was 18. I still have it. So that thing is about 30 years old. That length of time of having that credit is great too. The higher your credit card limits is, that makes you look responsible to the lending institution, especially when we're trying to get them business funding. Like, oh, you've had this card for 5 years and it's $10,000 limit. You've never been late on it. Looks like you'll be responsible if we give you $30,000.
Yeah.
Business side. So those little things are what lending institutions are looking at that help us get these massive amounts of capital for our mentees.
And this is how you teach your mentees to do this.
Correct. Exactly. Financial literacy first before I go give you this double-edged sword of credit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you're just going to do the same thing you did to get yourself in the same spot.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So how do you help your mentees, your students come and understand that battle? Because that's a subconscious, that's something they were built on, that's something they grew up in, and now you have to change their paradigm. They have to have a paradigm shift and an identity shift.
Exactly. That came from a subsidiary of Bella Sloan Enterprises because the market was telling me, hey, you know so much information because I'm making all this YouTube content and Instagram content. We would like to learn it. So we created Bella Sloan Academy, where we actually teach the fundamentals of credit, of budgeting, of structuring our business so that lenders can give you capital.
Yeah.
And then we put them in front of, once they get this capital, sometimes they don't know what to do with it. So then I had to get mentors that are smarter than me in different spaces. Like, hey, if you want to invest in real estate, a t-shirt company, acquisitions, here are the mentors that are really good at it. And you have the capital, go invest in your education and in a new business.
And if someone's wanting to like join your community or like be part of it, like what do they need to know? Where can they come find you? I'm just wondering.
Oh, absolutely. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Haitian_CEO because I'm
Yeah.
Haitian and I'm a CEO. And if they want to join the academy and learn more things, they could always check out my YouTube, Bella Sloan Enterprises, for free content where we love teaching. It's my passion. And if you want to join the academy, it's only $50. BellaSloanAcademy.com.
I love that. And where is Herman going now? Like, what's the future look like for you in the business?
Oh, wow. So I want to practice what I preach and I want people to see that. So what we've been doing is buying doors and buying hotels because I can't teach and do YouTube forever. So I'm
Yeah.
picking up assets to create cash flow for my lifestyle and things that I can pass down to my children. So it's a lot of real estate that we're doing and buying different companies, especially in the medical component, because those aren't going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing with the capital and the cash flow that we've been getting.
So you're building. So what here's you're building long term wealth, generational wealth through real estate and businesses.
And businesses, correct? Both.
Uh, it's interesting. Why not stock market?
So I have some in stock market. Probably 15 to 20% is in the stock market, but I
Yeah.
always tell people again, practice what you preach. I don't like to invest in things that I'm not well versed and educated on.
Yeah.
I have a team that handles the 10-15%
Yeah.
portfolio, so we handle that. I got another 10 to 15% in crypto, and I got a team that handles that. The
Yeah.
rest that I know of, I'm hands on it when it comes to real estate and acquisitions and things like that.
So you just touched something that I think is very important, and a lot of business owners uh, miss this piece. Right?
Mhm.
Is you don't need to be the smartest person in the room.
Correct.
You just need others who have the smarts in the room with you. Because you
Exactly.
just said, I don't need to know crypto. I got the best crypto team. So it sounds like you've built a real team around you, leverage.
Absolutely. Leveraging other people's knowledge. Mhm.
So if someone's starting out and they don't have those connections, or they're not yet at that level where they can just go and build all these teams, do you have any steps or ideas for them that they can just get to that level? Because I think what you're saying where you're at is kind of the dream of all entrepreneurship, right? Is you got your experts in every one of your categories, you're well
Mhm.
diversified, and you got people who are better at you than yourself in it. I mean,
Exactly.
that's true entrepreneurship right there.
It all starts with mentorship, right? So I tell people you're going to pay. You're going to pay with your time or you're going to pay with your money. You have to decide. So if you're just starting out right now, you have to learn before you earn. So there's a lot of free mentors on YouTube University, right?
Yeah.
You
YouTube. I like how you call it, YouTube University. Yeah.
University, a lot of topics that you could dig in, and that's what you paying with your time and learning those things and executing on those little tips that they're telling you for free. And then there's a paywall. There's always a paywall after that.
Yeah.
Now that you've made some money with that free information, invest in a mentor's community because his time is money too, or her time is money too. And that's how I started. I got some free information. I made some money in my business. I started investing in mentorship conferences, being around like-minded people, and those relationships, literally your network is your net worth. Literally those relationships have continued to build, and it put me in amazing rooms and this amazing podcast.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I love what you said when you said you can either pay with your time or you can pay with your money.
Yeah, figure it
And
out.
a lot of people choose to pay with time over their money.
Yep.
And, and I could tell you, even from my experience, and I'm sure you have the same experience too, is that's a hard thing to do. That's a harder way of living versus paying for access,
Yep. Paying for
paying for
access.
someone else's mistakes.
Yep. It's the
Right.
shortcut to life by getting a mentor.
Yeah, because you can live. It goes to the saying, right? Most people live an easy life, and that's why their life is hard. We're
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, and guys like you, we live a hard life, and that's why we live an easy life.
Easy life. Very true.
Right?
Mhm.
Anything else you want to leave the audience with?
Listen, my father taught me an important lesson. I always like to preach it and tell it to people: audit your circle, right? Because he was one of the first people I audited out of my circle. Because there's different circles in my life, but out of my financial circle, my dad could only take me to a certain level. I wanted to become a millionaire. My dad was not a millionaire, so
Yeah,
I had to get into a different circle, audit my circle, and sometimes that's your inner circle, and it really hurts. Like, oh, that's my day one, my day two. I made a lot of money with my day twos and my day threes, right? I got around different people, surrounded myself with different mindset, and I executed on the information that they gave me, and it has changed my life. And I've been consistent with that blueprint. And
I
that's
want to speak about that. We're not letting you off the hook because that's so important for any new business owner, really any human that wants to elevate and go to the next level is audit your circle.
yes.
So let's just talk about that for a second. When it means audit your circle, what does that mean to you specifically?
So when I first say that, people think of like a broader circle, right? And you've kind of heard this concept before. If there are five people in your group that are broke, you're the sixth, right?
Yeah.
And people don't understand that the people that you grow up with and you have the same mindset with, and you never opened your mind to different thought processes, you'll be stuck in that situation. So it was very important to me to be around people that thought different than me, even had different religions, different political standards, right? I had to audit my circle to think, see, and learn different things because it allowed me to grow, change my mindset on a lot of things, and even make some more money and more capital. It changed my health. It changed my mindset, changed my relationship with my wife, my family, my children. It's super important to get out of your circle and to think differently about many, many things.
Well, because you kind of indirectly said it, you're the average of your, that, the saying is you're the average of your five best friends, or I
Mhm.
say the five people you hang out with the most with,
Mhm.
or the five things that you're reading the most, you know what I mean? Or you're consuming your time, your energy with. And
Mhm.
if you don't like the results you're getting, I always say that, then you got to change the thing you're doing because you are a direct reflection of the results. But it's hard.
It is hard.
It's
Yeah.
hard. So let's
Mhm.
talk about that because I think it's really important it's so easy for people to say, oh, you're the average of your five best friends. Just leave your friends, but they don't talk about how hard it is to actually do that audit.
Mhm.
Meaning like writing down and asking yourself, what are the things you want in
Mhm.
life? Not just money. What do you want in relationships? What do you want in your health?
Mhm.
What do you want in I loved what you said in your faith. I'm just going to say right in your faith, your religion. What do you want in your fitness? What do you want in your family?
Mhm.
And then looking at that, and then you got to ask yourself, is anyone around me living that life?
Yeah.
And if the answer is no, you have that answer.
Right. Discipline and consistency is part of everything you just said too. And I tell people one of the reasons I'm successful is because I'm more disciplined than you are. Right. I'll continue to do the thing that I hate to get the thing that I want. So even with my weight, right, I lost 50 pounds this year. And people are like, well, how'd you do it? I was like, I did the same thing every day for 7 months. I got up, I put a weighted vest on, and I walked 4 miles every single day. And I ate the same thing 90% of the time: blueberries, nuts, protein. And I just did it over and over again. And I use that same discipline when it comes to my business, when it comes to my relationships, because the consistency over time is what makes exponential growth.
You said two very important things there: consistency over time, exponential growth. But you said even before that, what you said, discipline, and you define discipline. So, can we talk about that quickly? How did you define discipline there?
Discipline is doing the things you hate over and over again so you can get the things that you want. So I really,
You got to say this louder. It's
yeah,
doing the things you hate over and over and over again to get the thing you want.
literally for hundreds of days, literally 200 and something days, I got up and I put a 20-pound vest on and I walked summer, winter. I started January 1st. I hated doing it, but I wanted to be 50 pounds lighter more. I want to make $1 million more than I wanted to be broke. So I'm on YouTube University. I'm taking courses. I'm taking classes. I'm writing notes. I'm hiring people that are better than me because I'm giving up the money. I hate giving out the money, right? But I had to do it because I wanted to make $1 million more.
Yeah. So, what's the gap do you think that people go through between them wanting? So,
Hmm.
they want what's on the other end of discipline,
Hmm.
but then they have the intention of waking up and doing discipline.
Hmm.
But then when it comes to the act of discipline, they stop. Why do
Under,
you think that is?
Understanding the difference between motivation and discipline is really key. Everyone is motivated. When motivation runs out, I wish this was my line, but it isn't. When motivation runs out, discipline must take over.
Yeah.
Right?
Who's that? Is that Goggins?
I think it is Goggins. Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like that might be,
yeah.
I feel like that's a Goggins thing. Someone, yeah,
And
yelling
so
at you, screaming at you.
while he's running his 18th mile for the day,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
when I heard it, I was like, "Oh, that's it. I'm motivated, not disciplined." Right. So January 1st, everyone's in that gym. It's packed.
Yeah.
January 31st, the 6th April.
Yeah, like I love how you say it. It's not even because I've been a gym guy my entire life. It's like January 17th.
Wow.
It's like I'm telling you, like it's over. It's the first 2 weeks of January and then it's done. And then February it's like ghost town, and then by April everyone's like, oh, I forgot I made that plan. Maybe I should go. It's summer's coming, and then it's crazy. It's actually crazy.
The second part of it that changes, Michelle Obama said this one time because she had like a fitness thing. That was her thing when she was in her first term. And they asked her, they was like, how are you so fit? You're the first lady, most powerful man in the world.
Yeah.
And she said, and you're waking up 4 o'clock in the morning to do the things you need to do. And she said, well, let me ask you this. You had to interview me today, right? She said, yes. She's like, did you brush your teeth this morning? And she's like, of course I brushed my teeth this morning. I'm about to meet with the first lady. She's like, exactly. You had a goal today, right? And there's some things that had to be completed. They had to be completed. You had to brush your teeth and take a shower before you got here. The things that you don't want to do, they have to turn into have tos and not options. I have to walk 4 miles a day. It's not an option. It has to happen or the rest of the day doesn't go well. I have to do my content schedule that Kay gave me homework with, or else the rest of the day is not going to, it has to happen. And we have to stop making things that are optional for our success. They have to become mandatory.
I love it. I love it. I get it. I'm still feeling the people that are listening and going, but there's that gap still, right? Because we can say all the things you're saying, but then there's the act of doing it. And I think it goes maybe deeper of having either that chief aim, or for you, it sounds like you've just made a decision. You made just like a conscious decision of, in order to live the life I want, I'm just going to accept that most of my day is going to be painful. Right. Again, indirectly, right? Like doing the hard thing, AKA eating the berries. It's not fun eating berries. They're good, but to eat them every single day, the same food every day. But it seems like you've made that conscious decision. Like, I know where I want to go, and I know that this is the path to get me there. So you're not wavering your vision almost. It's like I can see it. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get there and I'm going to achieve it.
Yeah, you're going to teach it. I heard this line on the internet the other day. If you want to know how disciplined you are, just look down at your stomach. Right? It tells you.
Oh God!
I was like, wow. And Nike said it best. Just do it. I mean, at the end of the day, I can listen to Goggins, we can listen to Rollins and every other speaker out there, but you just got to do it. My why is bigger than my laziness.
Yeah, your why is bigger than your laziness. I love what Eric Thomas says. Right, you want it more than you want. You want it more than you can breathe, or something like that. He says, I love that. I think it's fantastic. So it sounds like you're a man of discipline. You've made your expertise in helping other people really become disciplined in their financial literacy, in their financial world. And then once that happens, you give them access to opportunity, to dollars that they can invest in. And then from there, it's up to them on what they do and how they go from there.
Absolutely.
Is that what I'm hearing? Changing lives.
That's exactly what we're doing. And mindset has to change first before anything else. As I could fix your credit 100 times, you'll ruin it 100 times. I can give you 100,000 in funding, but you'll probably blow it. But until you have discipline and you have to change your mindset on a lot of things, you're always going to be going full circle.
And it's possible, no matter who you are, no matter what situation. I just want to make sure, if you're listening to this, no matter what you're thinking, no matter how hard you think it is, or what you're going through, or how high those walls are, it is possible.
Correct. I am first generation immigrant. My parents do not have a high school education. I was first making $30,000 a year when I got out of college. Then I made $55,000 a year, and I'm literally $200,000 in debt. Right. When I got married, I didn't have a job. I was an unemployed social worker. I am proof that it can be done. And that's why I like to tell you.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Herman, it's been a pleasure having you here. I think it's amazing what you're doing. I think right now, especially, I just hate to say it, but like in the United States, like there are a lot of people in this situation where they're living off credit card debt. Credit's not great. and they don't see the opportunity that's in front of them, and you are the window to that opportunity. So if you're someone right now struggling, you live in credit card, don't have that financial literacy, wanting to fix your debt so you can actually leverage good, I would say good debt, right? Or, get access to funds to be able to build a dream, build an asset. Herman is your guy. Herman, again, where do they come find you?
So they can find me at Haitian_CEO on social media platforms. Check out our website, bellasloanllc.com, and check us out on YouTube, Bella Sloan Enterprises.
Love it. Thanks so much for being here, Herman.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate you.